Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Darla Lucian of Darla Lucian Studios, and we are here to do an altered playing card today. But before we get started, I'm just going to ask if you would hit the like button, thumbs up. You know you're going to like it. Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the notification bell because you'll get notified of the next videos coming up. Helps me go up in the algorithms. The more subbies I have, the better. And I'm working on something fun for when we get to 100 subbies, which isn't going to be all that long from now. We're going to have a fun subby giveaway. And share. Share with other crafty people. Comment. Let me know what you like about what I'm doing. If you've tried the things I'm doing. I am going to be working with texture paste today. So let me know if you've used texture paste in your craft projects on an altered playing card or even in junk journals, whatever. And thank you so much for the people who commented last week and the people who subscribed. Rupa, Dudley, and I have been having a conversation there, which has been great. PM Artist Studios, thank you so much for subscribing. Sarah Ratliff, thank you for subscribing. Mary Sugar Grove Crafts, thank you so much for subscribing. You guys rock. Appreciate it so much. So just thank you very much, and we will get going here. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to put those away. Okay. So I don't know if you have used texture paste, but texture paste is a fun kind of thing that mixed media artists kind of use. Now, I'm just going to kind of stir this around so you can see what it looks like. It's kind of thick, kind of globby, and I looked at a whole bunch of different recipes online because I am a DIYer, you betcha, and I thought, well, let's make texture paste. And so all the recipes that I came across include white paint and school glue in equal parts, so like 2 tablespoons each, and then you need to put in some kind of powder. So the different kinds of powder that they put in range from joining compound to baby powder, and I happen to have baby powder, which is essentially pure cornstarch, but it smelled really good when I was mixing it. Now it smells more gluey, but that's okay. Anyway, so I just kind of wanted to show you what was in there, and I honestly don't know how much baby powder I added, but you just kind of add it until you get to the right texture. That's just kind of how it works. Anyway, so then you put it on your project. You put it on your project however you want. You can use a palette knife. This one is kind of dirty. Might not use this one. Or like I just used the popsicle stick that I put on there. Anyway, so let me just grab my glue pad. So here's the fun thing with this. You can put something, I can put a stencil down, and then kind of grab the pattern from the stencil. So let's try that first. So I'm going to use some of this, oh, wrong one. This is the one I was using earlier. Alright, so I'm going to use a corner of this, it's like no slip mat. You put under your throw rugs or whatever, area rugs. But it has these little holes in it. So I'm going to put this over here, and then I am going to smear some of this on. Now you so when you're doing it, you're scraping, but you're also, I don't want to cover it, but you also push down as you're doing that. Does that make sense? So you're pushing it into the stencil. And I'm just going to do it like that. And I'm going to take the stencil away, and then you see that it's kind of left a grid pattern of dots behind. which is kind of fun. The other thing that you can do, I'm going to put on the other side, is goop some on first, rather thickly I'm going to do. And then you can make marks in the goop that you've left behind. So I'm going to use a little piece from like a orange bag or whatever, this mesh from vegetables. I can't remember what was in here. It's tiny, so it mustn't be oranges, but you know, I'm going to fold it up in a couple of layers and I'm just going to press it in and then take it off. Oh, that worked even better than the other one did. I've tried this before. I just gobbed it on a little thicker, and that there is the secret. And so this side almost makes me think of fish scales. Not quite, but almost, right? Anyway, so I'm going to set that aside to dry. And in the meantime, I did one earlier, like I said, and this one is dry already. So then, after you've used your texture paste, don't let it dry out because it's already kind of thick. Then we'll use a palette and a little bit of water. Let's see, which brush to put on this one maybe? What happened to my little rag I had here? Perfect. Okay. Yeah, it seems to be okay. And then, so I want to come up here so that we can actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to take this one off. All right. So here's the fun. So you take a color and just, you know, add water to it, and when you're painting on, the texture paste kind of does this thing where, you know, it doesn't take it exactly evenly, right? So here especially, when we're going over our textures, the cracks that we made with the mesh bag will get darker because the stuff will kind of run downhill into the cracks, right? And so what you do is you can use a wash, which is kind of what just adding water, right? That's the artist term. And the wash will create that dimension by flowing off the top and running into the cracks. Now, I was silly and I went too fast and made bubbles, which we don't really want on there. There we go. So that looks really neat. I just kind of washed it down a little more, just so we could see what was happening underneath more. So I'm just using one color with my texture paste right now. And how cool does that look? So then, you know, like what if we added another color? And remember that for doing, like while you're doing this, like with watercolors especially, like you want to add a lot of water because that's what makes it flow down into the cracks. So you can get this kind of cool pattern happening. And I mean, that's the point of texture paste, is you want to see the texture, right? So I'm just kind of picking kind of a pinkish color because, you know, we've been working on a pink journal, and I just thought this is going to be a cool addition to our pink journal. All right, this is fun. This is my first time working with texture paste, but it works pretty slick. It actually reminds me of drywall compound, and I love playing with drywall compound, putting on my walls and stuff, which is hilarious because I know some people absolutely hate mudding and taping, but I find it so therapeutic. I just love doing that. All right, so I'm just kind of putting in just a little bit more, just adding a little bit more, and eventually this will dry. I want it kind of to have like blotchy bits of different colors, right? I want it to have the texture. Okay, I'm really happy with the colors on how that looks. Now, obviously, this needs to dry a lot because it is watercolor paint. And this is just an old paint set I have. I don't even know how old that is. And then I want to, once it's dry, kind of show you what I was thinking. Okay, so I was going to pick a word or something. Maybe sing. Maybe rocking of waves. That might actually work for mermaid journal, certain somebody and I have been working on. That actually works pretty cool. Or once upon a time. Once upon a time might work too. That might be kind of cool. I like rocking of waves. This little sticker I was hoping to use up. Sitting on my desk. Sometimes you just have a little pile of things sitting on your desk that it's like, okay, what will happen? Will it get used? Will it get used in this journal? Will it get used in another project? And then you just see it come together in your mind. So this whole idea of rocking of waves, and then I think, oh, what do we want? I have all these different shapes on my desk from the journal that we're working on. Maybe we should put a heart on. That would be kind of fun. Like that. Okay. Alright, so we need to put some paint on here too. Painty paint, Painterton. Alright. So not sing, rocking of waves, it's the winner winner chicken dinner. You can dry up there. Let's put some paint on you. Some white paint. Well, this is just straight up paint as opposed to texture compound. Where is my paintbrush I want to use for that? This one? Yeah, this one here. Paintbrushes are lovely things, but you can go through some when you go through projects like crazy. Oh, and before I forget, texture compound, when you get stuff like this, like I can wash that off right now, but I don't want it to dry on there too long or it won't come off. And especially if you're using it with your stencils, I would wipe them off right away. I mean, this is just bits of scrap left over from my kitchen, or, you know, from putting an snow slip under area rug. So that's not like a big deal. But if you know, are using a stencil, you definitely don't want your stencil to dry. Like the glue in there, it's not just, you know, like depends on, well, school glue is water soluble, but, you know, after a certain point, if it dries, it's kind of not as water soluble, do you know what I mean? So just be aware of that. Oh, my fingers are getting so painty because this is so tiny, but that's okay. That's the, what do they call it, the expectations of the job when you're crafting, is just to get a little bit of stuff all over your fingers. Okay. One corner isn't. Seems to be absorbing in more. There we go. Okay, so there's my heart. Have a heart. And then for fun, let's pull in, let's pull in this lighter color. It's kind of a murky color because it looks like it has some black in with it. That's alright, I'm okay with that. And I'm putting it right on top of the acrylic paint. You know that you can mix paints together. And I'm just making kind of a blotchy look. Kind of creates a different effect. The acrylic paint kind of seals the chipboard, which is what this was. There we go. Okay, that needs to dry now. Oops. And so then to go with this, I want to use some of this material from my daughter's dress. I do not know where the end is, so I'm just going to cut a piece out. Because this reminds me of kind of like, well, it's like netting, right? So I was thinking with the rocking of waves and like just think of like a fishing boat or something. And so I think about putting a piece of this down. So I can't put it on here just yet, so I'm going to show you on here what my plan is. So, let's see. Just a little bit of this stuff. Okay. Like so. And then this down. Like so. So we have the texture paste, we have the paint, we have the netting, we have the chipboard painted, little heart shape, and then we're going to put this on. I could put a little glue on it. We're not quite dry yet. I'll wait. So, rocking of waves, and then this little sticker also right on there. So that's kind of the plan. So next time, on next Monday, I will have this card all put together so that you can see it and you can check it out. You know how I do this every Monday? I do an artist trading card. I like to use the small space to try out new things. So trying out texture paste was fun today, giving it a shot, seeing how the texture shows up. I mean, it's really, it makes me think of like the 80s kind of colors together there, but I really like the purple and the pink together for the mermaid journal. I think we'll see if Rachel wants to add this fun one in her journal. Anyway, thank you so much for coming along for the journal, or journey.
I hope you had fun. Try out texture paste. See what you think. Try it in new ways and let me know in the comments how you're using this. Take care, everyone, and we'll catch you tomorrow in another video.